Made sure to wear the proper attire for this. So I'm kind of in a bit of an awkward position. I said there would be a part 2 to that last video I posted. Well, I only had about 10 skins to talk about. Due to the circumstances of the day I recorded on, I unfortunately got cut off before I could finish recording the whole thing. So there were only 2 skins left to talk about when I finished. So when I said, oh, there needs to be a part 2, I probably really didn't need to be. But the Save the Earth Melee team has uploaded some new content. Not videos, just more information on the nature of skins in the game in general. And I figured I might as well cap off the list that I made and also talk about the ones that were added. Not necessarily the specifics, because I don't really have anything to say in specific about most of them, but just in general, because if for some reason I am the first person to tell you a lot of this information about the game, at least I'll have it all in one place, and you can kind of go from there. So let's top off the list that I made in that last video and just finally put it to rest. Rainbow Mothra. This is, as many of them were in that last video, a no-brainer. I imagine that this one's probably gonna happen for 2 reasons. Most importantly, Rainbow Mothra is on the game's box art. So the fact that Rainbow Mothra wasn't in the game proper, being rectified by this mod, is probably just what it deserves. Secondly, I imagine Rainbow Mothra was on the cover in the first place, because whoever designed the cover for this game probably did what most people would do, and just figured, well, they're both giant multicolor monster moths, they might as well just be the same character for all I know. So I imagine Mothra will get the Rainbow Mothra skin. I really don't think anyone's gonna have any grief over Mothra Leo not making it into the game. I wouldn't even be surprised if Mothra Leo had been on the poll of monsters that people wished would get into the game. And I just don't know, because he probably got so few votes that he doesn't even show up on the list. Which, by the way, I am linking an archive of the tweet that gives out all 15 of those monsters that were in the poll. Doesn't have anything to do with skins necessarily, but anyway, moving on to other obvious choices. Come on. A black version of Mechagodzilla is making it into this game. Technically, the first black Mechagodzilla was the Showa Mechagodzilla, but there are black Kiryu action figures or models, as pictured here, so I imagine this is gonna make it into the game. Also, for the record, this figure you see in the background on top of that TV, this is the SH Monster Arts Kiryu figure. I'm not flexing, I promise. I actually had forgotten until I just did that, but a good alternate skin for Kiryu in this game would be the Tokyo SOS / version 2 of the Kiryu with the backpack. Because they already have the Against Mechagodzilla version. I feel like that one's more popular, but I feel like they both deserve to get in. And since it seems like alternate skins are going to be able to have alternative rage attacks, this one can work because it doesn't have to have the absolute zero cannon. Next, this one I just wanted to throw in because it would have been a really short video with only 2 skins in it. As I discussed in the last video, there will be a Showa Godzilla character added to the game, and naturally one of those is probably going to be the 1954 original Godzilla. I believe it's called Shodai Goji. And there is a Nika toy of the design of that Godzilla, with the coloration from the original American version poster. And as you can see, it's green and it has like purple dorsal plates. And look, I was really stretching to find material to make this video. I didn't want to make myself out to be a liar because I said there would be a part 2. Whenever Showa Godzilla gets revealed, Soshin Geki Godzilla, the Godzilla from Destroy All Monsters, and All Monsters Attack, and Godzilla vs. Gigan, and Godzilla vs. Hedra. This design's probably going to be one of the Showa Godzilla costumes. Same thing with Meguro Goji / Mecha Goji / whatever the hell 1975 is called. This is the Godzilla that was in Godzilla vs. Megalon, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, and Terror of Mechagodzilla. The different versions between those 3 movies are so similar anyway, I don't even know if you would really want to make them alternate skins. The SNES fighting game had them as separate. That game was released like 30 years ago, and it was sprites, not 3D models, so it was probably a little bit easier to tell the difference. I am also going to go through some of the skins that have been posted to the Godzilla Save the Earth Melee Twitter account, which you should absolutely follow if you haven't followed it yet, or if you really want to go there, on X. For those of you who are unaware, and I swear it's a lot of people, the Monsterverse Godzilla will be a unique playable fighter in Godzilla Save the Earth Melee. It's not a skin. It's not a clone, not any more than any of the other characters are. The Monsterverse Godzilla is a unique character. As you can see, the evolved version of Godzilla from Godzilla Cross Kong, The New Empire, is going to be in the game. There's the baseline Godzilla 2014. There's also the 2019 Doha Goji. Here are all the skins for 2014 Godzilla. This is the classic coloration on the Monsterverse design. Maybe that's the actual coloration. Those are the Godzilla 2000 colors. There is the evolved Godzilla. I believe this one's the 2019 design. I don't know which one this is. Maybe it's based on Shimo? But I feel like Shimo would just be another character if they could. This is the classic Burning Godzilla design on the 2014 model. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe that's what this one is. They must be revealing something here. Apparently, they're going to be adding monster manuals now, which has been a thing that they've been planning to do for a while. Wait, I'm an idiot. I think they just mean that's what it's going to start out with. And they're probably just going to continue with the base roster characters. I don't think we're going to get any new names for a little while. Aside from maybe Monsterverse Godzilla and Final Wars Gigan. Just because we already know they're going to be in the game. Maybe Showa Godzilla? Just because we already know 2 of its versions. Please, for the love of God, if you care about this project, follow this Twitter account. And just because I'm generous, this is the artwork that they posted on Twitter of the 2021 Mechagodzilla skin for Kiryu. That is correct. The Godzilla vs. Kong version of Mechagodzilla is not a unique character, but is a skin for Kiryu, which, as far as I'm concerned, is far more than it deserves because that design is garbage. And if you disagree, feel free to leave it out of the comments because I don't want to hear it, you're wrong. I imagine that the Monsterverse version of all 3 of the monsters in King of the Monsters, but obviously in this image particularly it's King Ghidorah. I imagine all of those will be in the game in some form. I highly doubt any of the other monsters with alternate Monsterverse versions are going to be completely unique characters, but I do imagine we're going to see Monsterverse King Ghidorah and at least Monsterverse Rodan. Maybe not Monsterverse Mothra, but I feel like those could be added to the game. I believe they're working on Kong, which seems like it will have a Monsterverse version and a King Kong vs. Godzilla 1962 edition, and I could imagine Scar King being a skin. In fairness, he does have his own unique weapon, but I highly doubt that will be a unique character. It does surprise me they managed to get evolved Godzilla into the game as a skin already. It's actually kind of crazy that they have as many slots on this screen as they do. So they'll be adding 1 monster manual thing per day for at least the next 29 days. So basically a month. But it says that there's 31 additional spots that could be added on top of the original 29. It probably just depends on what they have time for in development, and I understand that. Software development is not always easy, especially when it's on a fan project of this degree and magnitude. I just realized that Millennium Godzilla and Showa Gigan are both in the same post. That's the one on the bottom. They have posted up these things that show all the costumes for Monsterverse Godzilla, Showa Gigan. Final Wars Gigan is going to be a separate character, so hold that question. I know what you're going to ask. Oh, is Final Wars Gigan going to be in there as a skin? No, Final Wars Gigan is its own character. So this particular graphic for Gigan, that's the one on the bottom, that's only for the 1972 Showa version of Gigan. Also, I have seen the asinine suggestion that Minus Goji will be a skin for somebody. I can't name names because there's so many people that think that every version of Godzilla can just sub in for any other version of Godzilla. But I imagine this will be in the game in some form. Hell, they might even add the golden version that won an Oscar that Takashi Yamazaki brought up on stage with him. That would be really cool. Team, take notes. I don't think there's going to be a Reiwa Godzilla, like how there's going to be a Heisei Showa and Millennium Godzilla. Just because I feel like all the different Reiwa versions are just so different, they really can't be put onto the same character. At the same time, I could see it maybe as a skin, but you'd have to make the moveset work with whatever you put it on. Maybe Heisei Godzilla? Maybe. So anyway, that's the part 2 to that video. And it's not dark outside this time. I managed to get it done during a reasonable hour. I realize I've been on a bit of a kick with making Save the Earth Melee videos. I don't know how consistent that's going to be, But I've been having fun making these, so... Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm not gonna pretend I don't look at the analytics for these videos like a hawk. Trust me, when the view count goes up, I can tell. But that's all for now, and I'll talk to you guys later.